find out who Mockingbird is and what her story entails, as I hereby summon all my imps to join me on my adventures through Marvel Snap. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. Mockingbird is one of the best S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. Despite the heavy casualties S.H.I.E.L.D. has taken during HYDRA's attacks on it, she has remained loyal to her oath and has continued her service in the remains of S.H.I.E.L.D. She will work at S.H.I.E.L.D.'s labs when she is recovering from injuries, as she has a degree in biology, but she will always return to field duty once healed. She has worked undercover with HYDRA and gained the position of head of security at the HYDRA base. Mockingbird is an agent's best hope when their cover is exposed to HYDRA. She will head the investigation for HYDRA. To maintain her cover, she will interrogate them several times, noting her intense background with S.H.I.E.L.D. She will always ensure HYDRA of their loyalty. If this fails and the agent's cover is still blown, she will act like she is arresting them with some guards. Then she will lead them out of the facility, attack the guards, easily overpower them, and as the agent gets away, she will call out for help and fall down. If questioned, she will blame it on a S.H.I.E.L.D. rescue. Mockingbird was later assigned by Nick Fury to be an officer of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the official S.H.I.E.L.D. liaison to outside industries. She also became S.H.I.E.L.D.'s handler to many freelance Avengers, such as Silk. She helped inspire many young people to follow in her footsteps because when she was a kid, she wanted to be like Captain America. She leads a scientific organization of GIRL, or GIRL, aka Genius in Action Research Labs. Mockingbird is a warm and friendly woman, while at the same time, she holds a fierce determination. She has been shown to be exceptionally strong-willed and stubborn. She has refused to break even when tortured. She is incredibly protective about those she cares about. While she is exceptionally good at deception, she has a strong morals and does not like lying to those close to her, especially when her true alliances come to light. Mockingbird is a trained S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who graduated at the top of her class, and as such, she is proficient in several forms of hand-to-hand combat, including Kung Fu and Taekwondo, and familiar with a wide range of weapons. She usually uses a pair of batons which she can combine to form a single staff. Her uniform comes attached with wing-like extensions, allowing her to glide on wing currents. Mockingbird is a trained agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and she has always tried to get others to join and help them out in the field. This is represented in Marvel Snap by her costing one less for each card in the field that joined since the start of the game. In Marvel Snap, she is a 5 cost 4 power with the static ability of cost 1 less for each card in play that didn't start in your deck. In my opinion, I believe that her rating is 4-star. And let me explain exactly why I think she's a 4-star. Now, she's not quite a 5-star because she's not good for every single deck, but there's a lot of decks she's good for. I mean, there's the most obvious one, which is Thanos, as all the stones count as cards that didn't start in your hand. If you start off Thanos and you draw the Mind Stone right off the bat, and then you just drop down 2 other stones on turn 2, she's already down to a 2 cost. And there's nothing wrong with that. Another good card for her right on the first turn is Squirrel Girl. The Squirrel Girl gives her 2 power, which puts her down to a 3 right off the bat. So there's actually some ways that you can use her in a Swarm deck. There's some ways that you can use her in a Thanos deck. There's also the ability of Quinjet and all of the S.H.I.E.L.D cards, which are the stuff like Maria Hill and Agent Coulson, where they put cards in your hand. The other nice thing about her is because she's 9 cost and not 10 cost, she falls right underneath Shang-Chi. But Shang-Chi doesn't quite kill her, which means she might be having a long time before she's adjusted in power, because if she goes up, yes, Shang-Chi does kill her, but she becomes a great activator for S.H.I.E.L.D. And I don't see her going down too much. She could go up in cost a little bit, but if she goes up in cost, I'm not sure how she'd go up in power. An interesting card for her would be the stuff like the Hood, where the Hood puts out the demon into your hand, which doesn't count. And if you look at the Gladiator as a cost card that comes close to her, if you can get just 2 cards down somehow in all of your game, she's just as good, if not better, than the Gladiator. And there's times where you play Gladiator right on 3, and you don't care if you get something bad from your opponent. Now, there are times where you're hoping to get something good from your opponent, but you will get bad stuff from your opponent. And this doesn't have the drawback of the Gladiator, it doesn't have the upside, but it doesn't have the drawback. Another nice thing is because it's a static ability, you don't have to worry about stuff like Cosmo or Enchantress turning off the ability. It's just gonna happen. Even if you drop her and don't get anything good in your deck, she falls right into the power of Abomination. And if you're willing to play Abomination as just an Abomination, this is a better card, because there's at least going to be a chance somewhere down the road that you have a chance to drop her by 1, drop her by 2. You don't have to get her to be in a 0-cost card. But anytime you do get her to be a 0-cost card, it's a pretty good card. And there's also ability to put her in discard, because if you can somehow manage to discard the Helicarrier, your entire hand didn't start in your hand. And getting her down at the end of a turn, on a turn 6 as an extra 9 power is nothing to be ashamed of. Another good card for her is Moon Girl, as all the cards that come back for Moon Girl help her out. So, she works in an agent deck, she can work in a toxic deck, she can work kind of well in a swarm deck between stuff like Squirrel Girl and Brood, which also brings in Patriot. She's about the same, a lot of times you're going to summon her out at the same time that you're going to summon Gladiator. She works awesome in a Thanos deck, and each and every one of the stones counts as something that didn't start in your head deck. If you get the Mind Stone on 1 and you drop the other 2 stones on 2, she's almost being able to be dropped on 3. Because that brings her down from a 5 to a 2. So, that's very powerful. On the other cards this week, you're really hoping to get her off this particular week. The other cards in this week are Ghost Spider. I'm not sure why Ghost Spider's in here. There's really no thing that makes sense to be with her on this week, because I don't think there's a single 4 or 5 that generates a card right now. But Ghost Spider is just not doing it anymore. Even in move decks, it's starting to get pulled. And the other card in here is Man-Thing. Man-Thing used to be good. It used to be okay. It used to be fine. But ever since Luke Cage made its revert back, it's worthless. And the problem is because it affects your side too, there's times where it just doesn't make sense to play it down. Because if you don't have the loot cage, you take penalty off of it. And it doesn't quite do enough because a lot of people just to stop playing 1, 2s, or 3s, or they just don't care about their 1s, 2, or 3s. Or once Man-Thing is down, you just know to avoid the lane. Or put big stuff in the lane, and that big stuff can just take it down. So, on this particular week, I would not roll. I might even wait till Mockingbird comes back as something, even though she's a great card for the game as a whole, and I think she can fit into a lot of decks. To roll on it this week if you don't have the keys is really hard to justify, and to spend 6,000 tokens on her is really hard to justify. I, on the other hand, will always roll because that's what I'm here for, so it's time to find out what's in the box. What's in the box? Let's all find what's in the box. Box says Man-Thing. So go see me try to play Man-Thing on this Friday. I want to thank you all so much for watching. And as always, remember, play for fun.